from sophomore year for about 10 to 12 years, I had just an incredible Hall of Fame stretch. And
if you do say so yourself.
And I credit it all. And I rarely say names, but I credit it all to Brittany. Okay, so you know, and what happened was one day, so I'm in sophomore year, and I'm in the dorm room. Now, you know, all my boys know we all know what's going on with each other. You know what I mean? So they know I'm coming off a dry season. You know, sophomore year is here. Freshman year was tough.
Let's try and get Bubba involved in the offense. Get him a couple touches.
And remember, I'm coming off a freshman year where I was this close. I had a girl. I was macking coming off the beach. You know what I mean? The beach story. Then my roommate Rob. You know, we spent all day at the beach, and we come back to the dorm room, and my roommate takes the girl I've been macking all day and smashes her right on the top bunk.
Yeah.
That's how rough the freshman year was. Okay. This story is surrounded by confidence. Okay?
On whose part?
Confidence that was bestowed upon me.
Okay. You had a good hype man.
Something like that.
All right. Or a good hype woman.
Yeah, there you go.
Ooh.
So,
what kind of story is this going to be? The mind is racing.
Yeah, I've told a bunch of various different stories that surrounds this story. So, you know, number one, compared to a lot of my friends and people I went to school with and people in the neighborhood, I'm what they call jumped off the porch late. I got my first girl late, okay?
Okay.
And again, I've made a promise to kind of tell my stories kind of just, you know, how they're supposed to be. So, you know, it took a while before I got my first decent look at one. So what happened is, you know,
you had to work your way through a couple pigs.
No, that's not the case. That was a joke.
Like.
That was a joke. Okay. And so
this lady's right now watching. Go, where was I at Bubba's?
That's a joke. So you go through, you know, I go through high school with sort of nothing. I ended up talking to my my best friend, his cousin, right? Okay. And I don't really count that. We're kind of around each other every day. It's whatever. And but you know, and we didn't even end up doing anything. And so you get all the way, and I have, when I leave high school, right?
Yeah. The
year before college. Okay, I get my first before I leave for college, I get my first whatever experience. Okay.
Okay.
And then when I get to college, I already told a story about the long freshman year.
Pretty dry.
It was very dry on campus. Now I still got the at-home thing going that I just had kicked off right after high school, but on campus it's very dry. Okay. And then I don't know. I'm gonna tell you what happened, but in the time, I don't know what the fuck happened, but at sophomore year for about 10 to 12 years, I had just an incredible Hall of Fame stretch. And
if you do say so yourself.
And I credit it all. And I rarely say names, but I credit it all to Brittany. Okay, so you know, and what happened was one day, so I'm in sophomore year, and I'm in the dorm room. Now, you know, all my boys know we all know what's going on with each other. You know what I mean? So they know I'm coming off a dry season. You know, sophomore year is here. Freshman year was tough.
Let's try and get Bubba involved in the offense. Get him a couple touches.
And remember, I'm coming off a freshman year where I was this close. I had a girl. I was macking coming off the beach. You know what I mean? The beach story. Then my roommate Rob. You know, we spent all day at the beach, and we come back to the dorm room, and my roommate takes the girl I've been macking all day and smashes her right on the top bunk.
Yeah.
That's how rough the freshman year was. That's how rough the freshman year was, man. All right.
I still remember Daryl Hart just go, that's tough.
That's tough, man. And so I'm in the dorm room sophomore year, and my boys, my roommates and homeboys, they come like, yo, you're not going to believe this, man. And I think it's a joke. And so it's a girl off the cheerleading team. They told them that, you know, she liked me. She feeling me. Girl, cheerleading team, man. Just fucking.
Did she see you during your tryout at cheerleading?
No, this was even before that. That's what led me coming out there to see what was going on.
Okay.
So that's like, yo, you know, she like, I'm like, man, get out of here, man. Like, you know, I mean, cheerleader, she fucking fine as all. Like, what the fuck? What did she want with me? I know y'all are joke. This is like the era of pranking and all of that. So you know, you gotta be really fucking careful with these guys.
Yeah.
Okay. So now they really serious. They really serious. He said, Kobe said, top bunk is crazy. Right on the top bunk, man. That's the true story. I'm
like, what if they came through and you actually got injured?
You said I got injured.
I said, what if they were going so hard the bunk collapsed and you got like legitimately injured?
Stay on the bottom bunk all the time.
Yeah,
man. Yeah, I ain't had nowhere else to go.
Would you do that?
Wait, which part of the story?
If somebody, you know, kind of, you know, snuck one past you at the last minute and took over the guy you were interested in, would you have stayed in the lower bunk?
No.
Okay.
Well, first of all, I stayed because there's a small chance I could be next. You know what I mean? A guy who was a team player would have been like, you know what I mean? Hey, you know, tap my boy. Huh?
Like, it's gonna be worth it.
Yeah. So you know. And then if she was a decent woman, she would have gave me, you know what I mean? She, you know, she would have grabbed my hand or something, you know, reached down below. Hey, you know, but whatever.
So Bubba's staring, listening, just hoping a hand on the side of the bed.
No, yeah, but I wasn't looking up, but I was listening. I mean, Rob was putting in some work too, man. Shout out to Rob, man.
Like it's a WWE match here in your tag, man.
Shout out to Rob, man. He was putting in some work. But listen.
Very, very, very self-confident that you could admire the work of another guy.
I was like, damn, she chose the right one. You know what I mean? She made the right decision this day.
So, Bubba, you're the type of guy that watches porn for the men?
That's crazy. But listen, man, so they come in like, yo, Brittany, man, da-da-da. So I go, you know, and I go check it out. So that's me going. I went to the practice or whatever. Because one of my homeboys was already there because it's a free ride, free scholarship. So that's why he's there. And so I go out there and that's when they tell me about the opportunity. Oh, you can get the free ride scholarship. I'm like, Chile, what the fuck, you know, blah, blah, blah. So that's how I started. But then I'm able to, you know, get connect with Brittany and all that. And man, like I said, just so fucking sexy, dog. And she like gave me the confidence from there. You know what I mean? Now, I didn't, you know, whatever, didn't do right by Brittany or whatever, but she gave me the confidence to like go, you know what I mean, to move forward. And then also I think, you know,
if Brittany likes me, maybe other girls like me.
But not only that, I think seeing me around with Brittany and then seeing me around, I had a homegirl named Nikita. Now, Nikita wasn't like a romantic interest at all, but Nikita was very pretty. She from Ghana and all that. We were friends since freshman year all the way through to the end. And but seeing me around with Brittany, seeing me around with Nikita, that boosted my your status. My status around campus.
As long as you weren't perceived as the gay friend, it would boost your status.
No, everybody thought I was doing stuff with them.
Yeah, good.
They didn't care.
Well played, Bubba.
So, you know what I mean?
They were just props for you.
And then somewhere in between freshman and sophomore year, then I got a beard. I think that helped too. And
somewhere.
And so I credit my stretch and my run to the beard and to Brittany, man. Shout out to Brittany, man. Shout out to Brittany, man.
That's good. You have good luck with
She
bees.
watches the show sometimes. She's married and all that stuff.
All right.
But who gives a damn?
But you didn't smash her at all?
No.
You get some head?
I'm gonna tell you something, man. Brittany was because she was the first like fine chick I had. I put the coochie on the pedestal. That's what happened with that. Yeah. It's a classic mistake. A mistake I never made again.
Yeah, good.
But you know, you learn from your mistakes, you know. Yeah. And I put it on the pedestal, man. It's unfortunate, but it still, I used what I learned and what I gained from that.
Yeah. Only thing belongs on a pedestal is the Heisman Trophy.
Oh man.
The rest is just waiting to get run through.
Apparently so. I think she's up to like 4 or 5. No, that's a joke. That is a joke, Bree. That's a joke, Brittany. All right. But yeah.
That's good, man. That's the way you kind of just like pole vaulted yourself ahead.
Yeah, I think so.
Good work.
I appreciate it.